Hey everyone, welcome back to the farm. It's Brad with Batchelder Family Farms, and today we had to do something that I've never intentionally done before, but this really the last 2 years combined, and especially the last few weeks here, have kind of made us take some drastic measures. So stick around and check out where our cows are now. So I'm here on the front porch, and if you can't tell, let all of our cows out into our yard. Right over here where these calves are going around. See if I can get my finger. There is the temporary electric fence. I've taken it down. Over here on the other side of the Ranger, so that our cows can come out in our yard. The reason I let them out in the yard is because we have a bunch of grass out here. I have the gate down, the driveway is closed. So yeah, there's stuff they can get into, but there's not really a lot they can tear up. And it'll just allow them a few days, hopefully, of relief and getting some good grass, because our pastures are pretty much dried up. All of our water, you can tell our pond out here. This is all the water that's left in that pond. So it is kind of a tough deal for our cows right now. And the heat has been over 100 degrees the last couple days. It's supposed to continue that for the next few days until we get to the weekend. So it's going to be a rough go for our cows. So we have one waterer, the Cobet waterer, out in the pasture that I've shown before. And that's really the last almost month what our cows have been drinking out of. And really the last couple days, I'll show a picture of a cow that is just panting. Super hot. They can't get cooled down. So we don't have any more stock tanks. I have a plastic stock tank that has a hole in it, and today we're going to try to fix it and see if we can get it filled up with water. So a couple months ago, where we get our spent grains from, the people there were telling me that they fix the plastic tubs when they get broken with a plastic welding gun. And I ordered this a couple months ago, and this is the first time I'm opening it out of necessity. So just kind of going through, I don't even know what's in here. I haven't read the instructions, so it looks like I probably need to layer those in. Nice set of snips. So here's the gun itself. It is just got it off Amazon, plastic welding gun. See the model number right there. And then these will work out hopefully pretty well. This should be able to cover the patch that I have. Just little sheets. And I really hope there's instructions in here. So we've got different size, it looks like, just like you would on a regular welder. Different diameters. Not sure what those are. Oh boy. And my instructions. So I'm going to look through these and see what I can get figured out. Okay, here is the big stock tank that I want to put in the pasture for the cows that I'm going to repair. You can see this nice big hole, and I actually think that one will be easier than this one. I may have to clean that out a little bit, and it's right in a bend, so I'm not exactly sure how that's going to go. But first, I have another one actually that has a hole in it, and we're going to try that one first, because after looking through the directions, the instructions, they were no help, so I'm just going to try to figure it out myself. So initially my big concern was if I let the cows out to the yard, they're going to be able to come right over here by the bison. But then I realized they've been neighbors for 8 years and they've shared fence lines, so everything should be okay over there. There's rubble. But I can tell the cows are thirsty because they've hung out around this stock tank quite a bit, so it's imperative we get them some more water. So, ooh, and my favorite calf of this year is right here. Look at that one black spot on his eye. I wish it was a heifer. Well, my plan is I'm going to take this wire mesh and cut it to fit right there. And then I'm going to take some of these little, I think they're called like weld or plastic nails or plastic welding nails or something like that. Some of these and use it to secure it. And then I'm going to get something to maybe try to melt another layer of plastic over the top of this. And then I think I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the inside. Okay, here in a second, I'm going to take a picture and show you what I have holding up the camera, because it is quite impressive. Okay. Got my needle nose. I don't know if they're going to help or not. Let's see what happens. Well, couldn't figure out first attempt, so I got one of our old protein tubs and cut out a little square, and I'm going to see if I can just melt it right on. I'll do one on the inside, one on the outside, one on the inside, and see how well that goes. The welding gun comes with 2 of these, and I think they just slide right over the top. And then it heats up, and then you can use it to melt plastic. So hopefully this works like so. Definitely seems to be melting it. Do not want to touch this because it would be extremely hot. Let me try this. Let me try to heat this up. I'm going to try to heat up this side of it. See if I can didn't get me, luckily. So I'm not much of a real welder, but I know you kind of want to go back and forth between what you're putting on and what's there. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this. See if I can get enough plastic in it to get it to stay. Definitely wear gloves. No, nothing. Okay, strike two. Let me see what else we got in here. Well, I don't know if this is going to do it, but the kit comes with these little pieces of plastic, and I use them to kind of melt the red piece to the existing stock tank. So now I'm going to go around the rest and see what that looks like. If that looks good, then I'll do the inside and we'll let it cool and fill it up with water. Well, stock tank repair so far has been unsuccessful. Ran out of daylight 2 days ago, and then had to go spend a lot of time yesterday and then again later today doing my off the farm job. So yesterday on the way home, I cheated and I picked up a stock tank from Tractor Supply. That way I moved the cows back out of the yard when I got home, back into the pasture, and that way they have water, more water than just in the Cobet water that we have. And let's show you the stock tank here. Went into Tractor Supply and looked for, I wanted to get a big metal stock tank, and they only had one big cow stock tank left, and it's a 300-gallon stock tank. I filled it up last night as soon as I got home and moved the cows over here, and when I just came out early this morning, it was completely empty. So I'm refilling it right now. I wanted to get them a big stock tank like this because the problem we were running into over here at the Cobet water, you can see that big mud pile around it, and when the cows drink and they're splashing it, water splashing everywhere, and they've stood there, and so now it's kind of like a little pond. And I don't know if you can tell on the cows over here, they've got a bunch of mud on them because it's a nice cool area. So some of them were going in, laying around the water, and the other ones couldn't get to it. I think that was probably the biggest issue on why they were getting so thirsty, and the fact that our ponds don't have any water. So struck out twice on 2 different attempts on the stock tanks. I think I have figured out how to melt one of the red plastic pieces I cut off those protein tubs and melt that on. So I'm going to go back when I have time and try that option again. So I'm really hoping that option works. That way I can repair those 2 stock tanks and at least have, they're super handy. We use those protein tubs a lot to reuse them. That I feel like they're such a waste. We use them for compost tubs and to clean out stalls and chicken pens and stuff like that. But we also use them to water the animals, but they just don't hold as much water on really hot weeks like we've had here the last week plus. It makes it hard refilling those multiple times a day, and when Jen and I are both off the farm working, it makes it even more difficult to make sure they stay filled all the time. So I'm gonna keep at it for now. The cows are back in the pasture. Rolled out a couple bales of hay for them yesterday as well. That way they have food right here. They've eaten most of the grass here, but wanted to make sure they have plenty of food right here to keep them happy, and so they can move around as little as possible during this heat. Keep them in these trees here. Most of them are here all day, or over around the trees around the pond, just to stay cool, stay close to the water, and stay close to the food. So hope everybody stays well, and if it's hot like it is here in your area, stay cool, and we'll see you back here real soon.